Good afternoon. Welcome to this Christmas Eve service. It's a pleasure to see so many of you joining with us today. Before we begin our family-friendly service of carols, I have one announcement that we neglected to say on Sunday, and it's a big happy birthday to Margaret Mackenzie, who's going to be celebrating 100 years. Truly something. If you would like to join with her family in offering congratulations, there will be an open house at Centennial Villa, the second floor common room, on Monday, December 31st from 2 to 4 p.m. So that's Monday at Centennial Villa. I invite you to either we don't have the projector today. Turn to your bulletins, please, and join with me in saying our gathering words. We have traveled the path of Advent, and now Christmas has finally come. We come to be near the manger, to be close to the birth of the Christ child. We come to worship God, who is with us, who is with us in the birth of Jesus. Let us join in singing together, "O Come, All Ye Faithful," number 60.
What? Oh. For weeks we had waited for Christmas to come. Now is the time for many songs to be sang. I'm not sorry. We've lit candles for hope, peace, joy, and love, to give thanks for the gifts God gave from above. Whoa!
Today is the day we've made plans and prepared for, the birth of a baby we all come to adore. Jesus, we call him, the Sun, light, and life, who has come to take away all of our strife. So let's celebrate with family and friend the gift of new life and the coming year end.
Thank you so much. Let us join again in singing. Please stand as we sing Joy to the World, number 59. Please be seated. Let us pray. Holy One, as we gather around the manger, hold us in the glow of your love. May this light give us new vision and greater spiritual clarity, that we marvel at the mystery of this moment. We will remain in the eternity of your love. In the name of Jesus, we make this prayer. Amen. I'm going to invite the children, if they're able and wanting to come forward, and we're going to have a seat on the carpet out front here. I think we have enough. Sorry. Or Grandma could steal us a seat if she'd like. Welcome. It's good to have so many with us today. Do you want to find him? Do you see where he is? For the last 4 weeks of Advent, we've been watching our shepherd on a search, Michael, teach us a little bit about Advent and about Jesus. And so today, he's made his way to the manger. Can you see him? He's made his way to see the baby Jesus, and he's got a star with him because it's by the light of the star that he finds his way there. So there he is. And so I'm going to read for you a story. It's called The Light of Christmas by Richard Paul Evans. I'm going to try and turn around as we read so that everybody, no matter where you're sitting, you're going to be able to get a glimpse of the pictures, okay? High in the mountains where the clouds lie on the ground like great cotton balls is a Christmas town of Noel. Noel is surrounded by tall white city walls that sparkle in the sun, and the city gates are of pure silver, striped red like candy sticks, and in the center of the town is a square where a tall Christmas tree is decorated all year long. But even more important than the tree is the great brass Christmas torch next to it. For it is here on Christmas Eve that the keeper of the flames comes to light the torch, bringing the brightness and warmth of Christmas to the entire world. In the hills outside the town of Noel lived a small boy named Alexander. And every Christmas Eve, Alexander and his mother walked many miles to the town square to see the lighting of the flame. But the last few years, it has been too difficult for his mother to make the long walk, and Alexander has had to go alone. Only a week before Christmas, Alexander ran into their small cottage. "Have you heard, Mother? This year, the keeper of the flame will choose someone new to light the torch." Who will he choose? Whoever gives the truest gift of Christmas. And then Alexander frowned. "I wish I had something special to give," he said. "I would like to light the Christmas torch." His mother put her arms around her son. "You're a good boy. I could not be more proud of you if you were the keeper of the flame himself." And early in the morning of Christmas Eve, Alexander prepared for his trip to the town square. His mother put a loaf of bread, a chunk of cheese, a jar of hot cider in his pack and bundled him up. "Remember, Alexander, after the lighting of the flame, it will be late. You must spend the night at the town church, and I'll see you tomorrow afternoon." Alexander kissed his mother goodbye and began the walk. He could hear the bells of Noel ringing in the distance, calling the people to the square. Soon they would shut the city's gates, for no one would be allowed inside during the lighting of the torch. As he neared the city gate, he noticed a small bundle of cloth in the snow. "Someone has dropped their cloak," Alexander said. Then he saw that it was not just a cloak, but an old man. And Alexander knelt next to him. He took off his gloves and rubbed the man's face with his warm hands, and the man's eyes slowly opened. And Alexander took the hot cider out of his pack and gave some to the man. The man looked at Alexander. "Who are you? An angel?" "I'm Alexander." The man smiled. "Thank you, Alexander." "I'm too small to lift you, but I'll get help in the city," Alexander said, and he put his extra cloak around the old man. Then Alexander ran to the city gates to find someone to help him, but no one would leave the square. "The gates will soon close," they all said, "and we need to stay." Then the large gates did begin to close, and Alexander looked at the beautiful tall Christmas tree and the great torch in the square and then back at the gate. With all his heart, he wanted to see them light the torch, but he could not leave that old man alone in the snow. So he slipped out the gate and it closed behind him. But when he returned where the old man had been, only Alexander's cloak lay in the snow, and the old man was gone. Alexander returned to the gate, and he heard a creak, and to his surprise, the gate opened, just a crack. Alexander jumped to his feet and ran inside. The town square was crowded with excited people, and Alexander climbed up to a small window ledge where he could see. Suddenly, from a building at the far side of the square, a large door opened, and a man dressed in a beautiful cloak lined with golden threads and precious jewels walked from the building, and a deep hush fell over the crowd. Hush. Who does that man kind of look like? It does look like Santa, doesn't he? But he's not. Or St. Nicholas, but he's not. He's the keeper of the torch. The people of Noel lined up to give their gifts. As they laid their gifts beneath the tree, they loudly announced what they had brought. "I am Giulio, the minstrel," cried one. "My gift is a Christmas song, which will gladden the hearts of many." And he played his song. "I am Marco, the writer," another cried. "I have written a great Christmas story which will be shared for years to come." And then the richest man in the city came and he said, "I am Maurizio, the jeweler, and I've made a golden ornament for the tree." Can you see that golden ornament? Oh, is that pretty? That's pretty. After all the people had laid down their gifts, the keeper looked out into the crowd. "Are there any more offerings?" But no one spoke. Alexander looked down, for he had nothing to give. "Then I shall choose the truest gift," the keeper said. He looked at those who stood near the tree. "You have given much," he said, "but only one of you has given well." Then the keeper looked out to the crowd, and he said, "Come, Alexander." "What's happening?" Alexander looked all around to see whom the keeper had spoken to. Not me, surely. There must have been another Alexander. But the keeper looked right at him and smiled. "Come, my boy." As Alexander neared the square, he recognized the keeper. He was the old man that had been lying in the snow. The keeper put his hands on Alexander's shoulders and looked at the others. "You all passed by me tonight, lying in the snow, but only this boy stopped to help me. In your hurry to keep Christmas, you have forgotten Christmas." The truest gift of Christmas is the gift of self. The flame of the Christmas must first burn from within. And then he handed the small torch to Alexander. "Light our Christmas, dear boy, light our Christmas." Alexander touched the fire to the great brass torch, and it burst into a brilliant flame, even more brilliant than our candles. Can you imagine? And it was said ever after that, never before had the flame burned so bright or so true. Can you see the light shining in the night? You just wait. We're going to light our candles later, and we're going to shine our light into the world too. Yeah, good job. Well, I really appreciate you all sitting and listening to my story, and I invite you to head back to your seats now. Thank you. It's okay. Let us join in singing together number 48, "Hark the Herald Angels Sing."
Merry Christmas. Okay. The first reading is from Luke chapter 2, verses 1 to 7, the birth of Jesus. In those days, a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged, and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in bands of cloth, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn.
Let us join in singing together number 69, Away in a Manger.
The second scripture is from John chapter 1, verses 1 to 8. The Word became flesh. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He himself was not the light, but he came to testify to the light.
Please join with me in saying together our Christmas prayer. Eternal God, in Jesus Christ, your light shines in our darkness, giving joy in our sorrow and presence in our loneliness. Fill us with the mystery of your word made flesh until our hearts overflow with praise and joy. For he is the beginning and the end of all that exists, living forevermore. Amen. So we're getting to that point, so I'm going to encourage you to ready your candles. So I'm going to give a few basic instructions. We're going to light, myself and the ushers, our candles from the Christ candle. And the ushers are going to go down the aisles and just light the people on the end. So if you're sitting on the end, now it's your responsibility to light the person next to you and to spread it along the row. Okay? So we have a bit of a response there. So if you want to look at your bulletin and say that. The people who walked in deep shadows. Those who lived in deep shadows. Glory to God and peace on earth.
Jesus Christ is Lord.
So once we're all lit, then we're sing. I invite you to stand as you're able and to join us in singing Silent Night, number 67, if you need the words. I want to thank you all for coming tonight and helping us to shine the light within our community, and know that that light shines within each one of us now and always. If you brought a gift that you'd like to offer us, the offering plates are at the back of the church, and you're welcome to place it there. The light has come into the world. The light shines in our lives and in our hearts. Go now in joy and celebration, remembering to shine God's light into every corner of this world. Amen, and Merry Christmas to you all.